Okay, in this video, I want to talk about how organized families can fund college education for the children in the family. Okay, I'm just going to jump right into the assumptions. Right. So first thing we want to assume is this is the average budget for a individual family member. Right. So we know that if you have a family that consists of several members who are working together, we know that some people will make more money, some people will make less. For the sake of simplicity, we will use this average budget. Okay, and here the income is $3,000, the expenses are $2,000, and left over is $1,000. Right. If we have a 100 adult family members, right, 100 adult family members who have on average this budget, then that means that 100 family members, each one of them will be saving $1,000 a month, which means the family as a whole will be saving $100,000 a month. If the family is saving $100,000 a month, you multiply that number by 12, and you get $1.2 million per year. So the family of 100 adults will be saving $1.2 million per year. Okay. If we move on to the children in the family, let's assume that this family has 80 children, right? So we got 100 adult family members, and then let's say that these combination of adults have 80 children. Okay. All right. What I have here is the average number of children in each grade, which comes out to basically 6 children. And the way I got that is I basically, for the sake of this example, I'm using 13 years, right? In 13 years, starting off with the children who are seniors right now, the seniors in 2024, the class of 2024, and the seniors of the class of 2026 are the kindergartners in 2024, right? So basically we have a family who have children in grades from kindergarten on up to 12th grade, and we just spread that 80 out evenly. I know that's not in reality. It won't be as smooth as this, as it is laid out here. You won't have 6 in every grade, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just doing that for this example, right? So 80 children divided by 13 years is what gives us this 6 children in each grade. Okay. Moving on. So if we have 6 children in each grade, the first thing we want to do is assume that none will get scholarships. We know that that's unlikely because if you have an organized family that's working together, there will be some positive outcomes of this, and one of the outcomes will be that this family is probably going to be building extraordinary children, right? So if we have an extraordinary family system, more than likely we're going to be able to produce extraordinary children who will be able to go out there and compete intellectually and academically with anybody on the planet. And some of these children will most definitely get scholarships, okay? But for the sake of this example and keeping it simple, let's assume none of them get scholarships and we have to pay out of pocket for each one of these children, okay? So let's see. So if that's the case, if we have to pay for each child, then the number of new students to fund per year that we have here will be 6, meaning every time a high school class graduates, that's another 6 students who enter college, and those 6 students will need their education paid for, right? So when the class of 2024 graduates, there will be 6 of them who needs their college paid for. Then behind them will be the class of 2025, 6 more students who need to be paid, so on and so forth. Okay. Where are we? So yeah, cost of college per year. So I just went to U.S. News. I know this varies depending on where it is, but this U.S. News is pretty popular for different college information. They rank colleges. They do stuff like that. So I'm okay with using the numbers that they have. Right here they have public in-state for $10,000 per year. We know people can go to private. We know people can go to out of state. But in order to keep this example simple, let's stick with the in-state tuition number, which is $10,000 per year. Okay, so we got that 10,000 here. All right, so let's move on here to where we have minimum yearly education costs. And basically what this represents is the first batch of post-secondary students, right? In this example, this is the high school class of 2024. So this is going to be the only year where we're paying $60,000, right? When this first batch of students enter their freshman year is going to be $10,000 apiece for all 6 of those students, and that's where this $6,000 number comes in. In subsequent years, other students will begin to enter college, right? So that's what we have batch here. So in the first batch, 6 students will enter college, and we will have 6 students in college. When that second batch rolls around, 6 more. The 6 previous students in this column are the previous students who remained from last year, and they will be joined by 6 more students who start this year, and we will have a total of 12 students in college, right? So, and eventually what will happen is, so first and foremost, so for that first year, only though the year in which only these 6 students are in school, then our cost of tuition will be that 60,000, which is the 10,000 times these 6 students. Okay. Now, what will start to happen subsequently is the way we get up to this 240,000. I put it here as the max yearly cost, because what will eventually happen is, you see here, we already talked about what happens in year 2. Then we have 12 students in total. Then when the third batch comes in, those 12 students from the previous year will be joined by 6 additional students, and we will have a total of 18 students. When the fourth batch comes in, those 18 students from the previous year will be joined by 6 more students, and then we will have a total of 24 students. But as you can see here, without going through the rest of this table, you will see that 24 number will be constant for a few years, because as 6 students begin in the subsequent years, then 6 students will be graduating. So we'll start with 24 in the subsequent years. 6 of those students will graduate. 6 new students will come in, which means we will have 24 total students in college on a recurring basis after beginning with this fourth batch. Okay. So, and if we have 24 students in college at the same time, we multiply their yearly tuition by 10,000, then that means every year our tuition expense will be 240,000. So 24 students times $10,000 will be the tuition of 240,000, right? Okay. So that's that. So the thing we need to consider now is basically how does this get paid for? So we already know, because we've already went through the assumption. This gets paid for because of the money that the family has come together to save. These are the yearly family savings, right? And basically the family is saving this money primarily for investments. But if we have students who are matriculating through school and need this college education paid for, then there's nothing wrong with basically taking of this 1.2 million, taking this 200,000 and some change and paying for these kids college education every year. So if we do that, we're paying this basically $200,000 every year for college education, and we still have $1 million left in order to invest as a family, right? So by working as a family, saving as a family, we have the money that's needed to cover all of our needs, right? We can take care of our investment needs. We can take care of the educational needs, and all of that will be included in this 1.2 million, right? So that's how the college education will be funded for these children, in a very structured, in a very systematic way. It's nothing to be intimidated by, okay? All right, lastly, what I'll say, I'll wrap up the video. As I wrap up, I'll just recap a little bit with some of these things that we should notice. First, and number one, some actually will get scholarship. Like I already mentioned that. Like, we're going to be building an extraordinary family. This extraordinary family will be producing extraordinary children. Some of these extraordinary children will absolutely get scholarships, and we will not have to pay for them to go to school. That won't be, more than likely, that won't be 100% of the children, but we have a good chance of getting a significant number of children scholarships, and therefore we won't have to pay out of pocket for their education, okay? Number two here, based on household income, financial aid may be available. So, like I said up here, it's pros and cons with having some people who make different levels of money, right? So, like I said, this is the average budget for the family. In this average budget, inherent in this average budget, are people who make more money than $3,000 per year, and some people who make less money than $3,000 per year. If you're one of the people who are on the lower end and you have a child who is talented enough to go to college, then of course you're probably not going to have to, you're going to probably be able to get assistance with school, okay, tuition assistance. And based on your household income, the kid may not even have to pay for school. I know in New York, like there's a certain threshold where you can attend some of these public schools for free if your family doesn't make a certain amount of money. So if your household doesn't make a certain amount of money. So these are things that can be taken into consideration as we're talking about paying for college, right? So that's that. Moving on to number three, like I said, we know some people will go to private school, which is more expensive. We kind of looked at that here, but we're going to keep this example simple and just talk about the public education, okay? We know some may go to trade school, which is less expensive. So on that side, we'll also keep the example simple by not talking about those scenarios. But I put that here so that we can know that everybody does not go to a four-year university. Everybody doesn't want to go to college. Everybody's not built for college, whatever the case may be. If people have other things that they're going to do, then we won't have to pay for their education. So we'll see. Okay, so moving on to number 5, which is an example of what I was saying. Everybody doesn't want to go to college. Some people will graduate from high school and maybe just start working in the family business or one of the family businesses. And one thing to keep in mind here, if the family is saving $1.2 million every year and we're spending $200,000 a year on education, that means the remainder of that, which is the $1 million that's being left over, is going to family investments. Some of these family investments will be family small businesses, and some of these family small businesses will absolutely employ family members. So some family members may not want to go to college. Some family members may want to just work in the family business straight out of high school, and that may not be a bad idea for some of them. Okay. So yeah, number 5, some will work in the family business and not require college funding. If you're not going to school, you don't need money for school. Okay. Number 6, okay, number 6 is just something to pay attention to or just to keep in mind. A steady stream of family members will graduate, get jobs, and add to the family income. And I say see budget above. Long story short, right now we currently have 100 working family members who are making this money. But as kids matriculate through high school, matriculate through college, then these people will be starting their own lives. They will be graduating from college, getting jobs, starting families. And 2 things will definitely happen. If they get jobs, then they will also be able to join the ranks of the adult family members, and they will also be a part of adding their income to the family savings, right? So the family, as the family pays for the education, like the family is not doing this for no reason. The family is paying for the children to go to college so that they can better themselves, market themselves, find work, and then once they find work, they are able to earn income and then make contributions to the family as well. So we want to be able to see that stuff go full circle. Okay. Okay. Number 7. So another thing that's worth mentioning in number 6, as the students who graduate through school get jobs and start families, then they will also be having children who will be the class of 2037, the class of 2038. So on and so forth. So there will be the graduates will be bringing more income into the family, but more than likely they will also be bringing more children into the family that also subsequently need funding. So like I said, this cycle of family cooperation will perpetuate. Okay. Number 7, which is very important. I say this only works if the culture is there. Otherwise, selfish people will mess it up. If you don't have a culture, if you have not created a culture of people or the family coming together and working together as a unit, that's not the default. The default is people trying to, be self-made and do things on their own. And if we have not taken the time to get rid of that weak mentality, we will not be able to enjoy the benefits of things like this, because the benefits of things like this, what I'm talking about in this video, only come from a group of people who are working together, right? And if this is not the culture of the family, then you can forget about this entire video. Okay. Number 8, like I said, which is related to number 7, weak families can't do it. It only works if a family is a unit. Otherwise, why would anybody chip in to pay somebody else's education expenses? You got to understand, when people are putting money in the pot and then the money is coming out, maybe my kid is way down here in 2036. My kid is in kindergarten and I don't have a senior coming out, but a portion of my money is still going to pay for whoever is graduating here. Now, you have to understand that in order for that to be a system that a family takes on, people have to really be working together and be intent, have the intent to working together and making sure things stay together. But if people are not, like I said in number 7, if that culture has not been created and people are not really interested in working together like that, then it's not going to work. Because why would I chip in just to help pay for somebody else's education if this is not a part of a bigger plan, a bigger mission of the family working together, coming together to do greater things? Okay, so that's the point of number 8. That's basically the extent of this video. I'm not going to drag it out, so we'll leave it at that. Okay.